kick.
Yo, what's up guys? It's me, Los, chilling here in my house still quarantined. But I got my cheap wine with me, along with my music and my camera, so gotta make some videos, right? So if you too have felt this ungodly presence that has bestowed the universe recently, don't worry, you are not alone. It is because Drake, October's very own Aubrey Graham, has dropped a surprise project on us. A mixtape of sorts called Dark Lane Demo Tapes. I think that's what it's called. And you know, Los over here had some opinions, some thoughts, everything that falls in between those categories to share with you all. Because basically the only reason I made this channel is so I'm not no longer yelling into the void of emptiness of what is Twitter. So, for everyone who calls me a Drake hater out there, I just want to get off right off the bat and say, regarding this project, I, wait for it, liked it. I hope I'm not getting any wine in my teeth. Didn't absolutely love it, didn't fall head over heels for it, but it is nice to finally have a Drake project come around that I do not absolutely despise. The last Drake album I really enjoyed a lot was If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, which is honestly, I could probably say, I think Drake's peak, Drake's best work that he's ever put out. But after that, he just kind of, I don't even know what these last fucking 4 projects have been. But we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about Dark Lane Demo Tapes, a compilation of seems like what is maybe B-sides slash unfinished slash throwaways. And right off the bat, when I heard that and I heard that he was dropping another album this summer, I was like, damn, I am really gonna fucking hate this album. I figured that this was kind of an excuse to go half-ass on this project and to not really put any effort into this, which is definitely not a unique lane for Drake to take. But I think with maybe all that lack of structure and that just, you know, comfortability and him just kind of, you know, going in the booth and seems like kind of freestyling on most of the part, it kind of just let him loosen up a little bit and kind of just be himself. He doesn't feel so manufactured. He feels very authentic and genuine in a way that I haven't heard Drake sound in a long time. So needless to say, I was pretty pleasantly surprised with this album or mixtape or whatever. Granted, it did kind of have, you know, that unfinished, unpolished kind of feel and aesthetic to it sometimes. But like I said, it's a B-sides project. You know, I kind of expected that going into it, so it didn't really hinder my listening experience too much. But as much as I did enjoy it, there are still flaws to this album. A good bit, if I do say so myself. So I thought maybe the easiest way to go through this one is just, since it doesn't really have a whole cohesive idea to it, it's kind of, you know, just Drake doing his thing. We'll just go through the track list together and see what we like and what we don't like. So starting off with that first track, Deep Pockets, I did enjoy this track. I thought the beat was pretty interesting. I liked the little sample it used. I swear that little ooh ah little sample thing, I swear it's the same fucking sample from Stargazing. I don't know, I might be wrong, which is not a bad thing. I just felt like I noticed that. So right off the bat, we get Drake coming in with a very Drake flow, very typical flow. Sounds very Tuscan leathery. Every 2 seconds, I think he's about to come in and say, started from the bottom, yeah, we made it. But he doesn't, because this is a different song. Just sounds like a bunch of other of his songs. But I still liked it, though. I still thought his flow was nice. I thought his cadence was kind of intimidating at times. I thought he was kind of sounding hard on it. I really love the chorus on this song. I just love it when Drake does that little scream, yell, singing thing. They're like, and we're rolling, and we rolling. Deep pockets on a nigga, I can't find my phone in, now we rolling. I just love it when he goes into that kind of sound. Definitely my weak spot when it comes to Drake, so I love the chorus on this. You know, kind of just touching on themes the whole time though, just about, you know, family and his coming up, fame. Kind of a general theme you'll see throughout all this. Doesn't really go too deep or conceptual into it, just kind of, you know, typical Drake themes that he goes through. But yeah, I like that song. Deep Pockets was cool, definitely a good way to start it, good intro for sure. So far, I'm liking the album. Then we get to the second track, When to Say When. Comes in with a very, you know, smooth soul sample. Also the production kind of sounding very typical Drake, but then when that beat drops, hey. So yeah, the beat, I mean, I guess kind of started working for me. Again, typical Drake flow, typical Drake sound. Didn't really do anything to really impress me vocally. Also, this is like kind of a freestyle, you know, without the chorus or anything. You think maybe this would have been more labeled as a freestyle than the next track, Chicago Freestyle, that actually has a whole chorus and structure to it. But hey, I mean, whatever. Also kind of had some jokey lines, you know, the baby mama fluke line. That MJ Kids line was kind of cringe. Don't think you should be making references to Michael Jackson and Kids really in music. Didn't like that one. But yeah, When to Say When, nothing too crazy, but you know, it was good. It wasn't bad by any means. Then we come to the Chicago Freestyle, which is just a love letter to Chicago. You know, meet me out at the Bean type shit. The chorus is great. Giveon, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. His vocals were chef's kiss beautiful. I like the little piano towards the end of the chorus. Think it adds a nice little touch to that for sure. And then Drake's flow on this shit, man. He comes out with a hard flow, and I was just like, ooh, the whole fucking time. Just like, ooh. Yeah, I like Drake's flow a lot on that. I thought he sounded really tough too, real gangster. The second verse, the flow starts off pretty good. Kind of loses energy a little bit towards the last half, but hey, he definitely still carries it throughout the whole verse. Definitely got me interested the whole time. I love the fucking little Eminem shout out that he did to Eminem's Superman. Monday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo. Makes me upset though that a lot of Drake fans won't get that reference, but hey, it's whatever. But yeah, Chicago Freestyle, super dope. Really fucked with that song. Really good. Liked it a lot. Then we go to the next track, Not To You with Chris Brown. And let me tell you, when I see a Drake and Chris Brown track, my dick gets soft as a fucking... I don't even know where I was going with that simile. Doesn't sound very appealing to me. Not the biggest Chris Brown fan by any means. Not even just talking about, you know, him being a shitty person, but also just his music I'm not a very big fan of. The No Guidance track was like, didn't really feel it. So I wasn't going in the song with high hopes. But let me tell you, and not only just because Chris Brown was barely into the song, I actually did enjoy the song. For an R&B Drake song, I thought it went over really well. Thought his vocals were really good. I thought the songwriting was pretty good. His little melodies and stuff that he was hitting, the flows. Better than most R&B Drake tracks that he's been trying to hit recently, I feel like. He seemed to be experimenting with his vocals, at least in the slightest, which is good. Also, it seems like an underlying theme of this song is kind of about Rihanna, which kind of sits unsettling with me a little bit, but I mean, is the song still good? Even Chris Brown's vocals, I am enjoying his little background vocals that he's adding. I do think it adds a nice little element to it. But God, when that bridge / second verse comes around and those synthesizers come in, oh man, you know how much I fucking love synths, and it sounds so good. And God, it's such a great way to finish the song. Such a good progression throughout the whole track. Love this track. Way more than I was expecting it to, and it was super dope. Next track, we get to Tootsie Slide, and poof, what can I say about Tootsie Slide? I mean, I didn't mind it from when it first dropped. I didn't love it, definitely didn't hate it. Thought it was a nice, catchy, fun little tune, despite it being very just uninspired. But again, like, when is that a foreign formula to Drake? But, you know, whatever, it's fun. He did it just to make a little TikTok dance, it was whatever. But I will say, in the context of the album, I don't know, it does kind of feel like it fits a little better. It kind of feels like I'm ready for that track when it does come on, which is really weird for B-Sides project. I wasn't expecting it to flow that well, but so far the track list did flow kind of nicely. And yeah, I mean, I can't deny it. When I hear that, you know, left foot front, it makes me want to start fucking, you know, doing a little jig or something. But yeah, everyone's already heard that song. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's alright, you know. It's uninspired, but it's alright. Then we get to Desires with Future. Future, also someone that's very hit or miss with me. His vocals just don't always hit for me. I don't know, just never been a huge fan, but I mean, I do enjoy a good bit of his music for sure. He's just never been, like I said, just very hit or miss for me. But I would say right off the bat, Drake's whole flow and everything, it just sounds like a knockoff Mob Ties, or even like Can't Take a Joke from Scorpion. Future's vocals were actually pretty good, way better than I was expecting to like them. Actually liked his part maybe a little more than Drake's. The production's alright, nothing special, has a good little light synthesizers to it that are pretty nice. Drake's little second verse wasn't really feeling too much. It does kind of have a good progression towards it, you know, a little beat or flow switch at the end. But the third verse / outro or whatever it is, when the beat changed a little bit, ooh, that part hit for sure. I love Drake's flow there. I love it, this little cadence and everything. I love how the production changed a little bit. And yeah, that part was definitely the best highlight of that song for sure. So overall, the song had its ups and downs. It was okay. And I feel like that's how I sum up a lot of Drake's discography nowadays, is that it's just okay, which don't know if that's the best rating you can get. Then we go to our next track, Time Flies. This was probably the first dud of the album for me. It was just so fucking goddamn boring. This is the point of the album where the production and his flows kind of start blending together, and it's just like, so draining. Nothing special, nothing memorable about this track. I mean, I guess you could argue that it's like somewhat catchy, but like I said, it's just so basic fucking Drake. So formulaic fucking Drake. Wasn't necessarily bad or offensive or anything. It just wasn't bringing anything to the table. The second verse helps a little bit when Drake goes into his higher register. I do like it more when he goes into the higher register. One of my weaker spots, like I said, for Drake. And then the outro was kind of nice, and he, you know, experiments with little chopping vocals and such. But it was not enough to save the song. This is a dud for me for sure. Then we get to the song Landed, where he comes out with this dark trap beat. where he just has these braggadocious bars and just in-your-face type flow and your cadence. Nothing much to say about it. Just a very trap banger, just like a fuck you kind of banger. I will say that the chorus could have been a little better, or at least a little catchier, or if not catchier, just maybe more, just a little more different than the verses to offer maybe some juxtaposition between the two. Could have kind of just blended together, and next thing I know, I was like, oh shit, the chorus just passed. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty hard. I mean, it's just a little trap banger, and it was dope. It was dope. Then we come to D4L. A track with Young Thug and Future. D4L, the title plays as a tribute to the Atlanta group D4L, which I thought was kind of cool. Typical little bouncy trap beat with a typical little trap melody. Kind of sounds like something that you would find looking up like a, Young Thug / Drake beat on YouTube. But, I mean, it's cool though, it's cool. Just wasn't anything crazy. And then Thug just comes in, man, and I fucking love Thug's vocals so much, man. He comes in, oh man, I just wish this whole track could have been Young Thug, man. Not to say I didn't like the rest of it, but man, Young Thug, I fucking love. His vocals came in great. And then Future comes in. I will say I did like his flow a little bit, but God, some of his vocals are kind of just like unbearable, man. Like, man. Maybe I'm being a little harsh, but I mean, it was just right after Young Thug got these, orgasmic vocals, and then Future comes in. Like, I like how they switched the vocals up a little bit on the chorus. It added a cool little dynamic and progression to the track. Drake comes in with a really like G flow, low key. Sounds dope as hell. Really liked it, to really play into those tougher cadences, which is kind of a switch up for Drake. Not that that's necessarily the direction I want him to go, but I mean, it's working right now when he's doing it. But then Future's second contribution to the song, when he comes back in, I loved a lot more. I freaking loved it. I loved his little ad-libs, his little vocal inflections. Oh, it was freaking dope. So I guess he made it up a little bit for some of his unbearable vocals in the first part. But overall, dope ass track. I like this one a lot. It was really dope. And then we get to the biggest heartbreak of 2020. Pain 1993 with Playboi Carti. God, Playboi. What happened, Playboi? What happened? Start off the saying, obviously the song is a nod to Ian Connor, born from Pain 1993, which is cool, which was Playboy's manager / fashion designer. So going into this, after the leaks and stuff, I thought this was going to be my favorite track. I thought I was going to hate this album, and this was going to be my only track I liked. And God, I was so wrong. Starts off with a very spacey, atmospherical beat. Something very Playboi Carti-esque. So you think like, hey, Playboi Carti, this is your bag, bro. Get in that shit. But of course, Drake comes in first. And I liked his flow. It wasn't anything special, but I guess it was a cool little flow. Some of his pitching, though, I don't know if some of his pitching just seemed like a little bit off. I feel like he could almost benefit it with some auto-tune or something, maybe. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but like I said, I liked his flow. Just when he was hitting those specific pitches, it seemed like he was just missing them a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but maybe I just love to find things wrong with Drake. But overall, it was pretty mediocre. It was definitely not great, not good. It's not bad, but and then we get to Playboi Carti's verse. First off, with Playboi Carti, he comes in just spewing these Young Thug flows and cadences, and that's cool for Thug, man. And I love you, Playboi. I love you, but you can't pull off those flows, especially when you're doing your little baby voice. I mean, I love your baby voice. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love your baby voice, Carti. But you can't do your baby voice and try to pull off these Young Thug flows and vocal inflections. It's not going to sound good. It's not going to work. But despite the popular belief all over the internet, I didn't absolutely hate Carti's part. I didn't really mind his vocals. I just wish he would have changed up his flow and kind of cadences a little bit. Also feel like maybe his vocals were mixed kind of bad, which honestly, the mixing is kind of a reoccurring problem throughout the whole thing. But I guess it is a B-side, so you can't expect the mixing and everything to be super great. But he kind of just sounded like he was on top of the beat rather than mixed well inside it. But yeah, I mean, I didn't love Carti's part. Didn't hate it nearly as much as some people do. It was just disappointing because I do love Playboi so much. But this whole track was just mid from start to back. And everyone's saying that Carti ruined it. Like, dude, you were hoping Carti was going to save it. The whole track is mid, man. Don't put the blame all on Carti. It wasn't a good verse, but neither was the rest of the song. It was just a bad song. It was a bad song. Losses is the next track. And it was kind of a miss for me. I wouldn't say it's as much of a dud as Time Flies, but it's definitely very, 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 very boring track. Obviously just about, losing a girl and stuff. Very formulaic Drake flow, very formulaic Drake vocals, very formulaic Drake beat. The lyrics on this, I guess, were kind of cool, though. He had a couple of cool little bars. Also a lot of corny-ass bars. But he had the whole, do it for the grams, not the gram, because his last name's Graham. That one's a thinker. That was a cool little bar. Then he has a whole bar, the steal my style, now we matching, which I guess isn't that cool of a bar, but it sounded cool when he said it. Me saying it out loud doesn't sound that dope. And I guess I like the repetition of the cold facts line at the end of each verse. Kind of added a cool little dynamic to it, but still was kind of a boring track. I mean, nothing special. Then we have From Florida with Love. And again, kind of a boring track, man. He was hitting so many dingers at the beginning. He couldn't keep it up the whole time. Very boring, typical Drake, nothing special, nothing stand out about it. Any second now, it sounds like it's about to just go into 2C slide because they sound so similar. Then you have like the second verse that's kind of just like a rewritten version of the first verse, which I guess is kind of cool. I don't even know how I feel about that, to be honest. Just weird. Wasn't anything enough to save the track. But I will say I did like the chorus a lot. Like I said, I'm a sucker for those like little, you know, when Drake goes into that high register and starts doing that little yelling shit, that's yelling, singing. But yeah, overall track was kind of boring. Nothing special at all. Then we get to fucking Demons and he completely redeems himself. 666. Starts off with a dope, grimy, kind of drill-ish beat with a cool little like chorus gospel sample that sounds really dope on it. And then Drake comes in and I like his flow a lot. Granted, he kind of sounds like he's going into that fucking UK-ish accent that I hated so much about War, but it's enough restraint to where I just think it sounds dope. He sounds dope on this. Sounds like a fucking G and he sounds hard. I love on the chorus when it does that little vocal switch to 5-0 or Fivio.
All the demons looking moody. All the demons looking moody. Skirt around it.
Sounds really fucking dope. By the way, this track, if I didn't mention, is featuring Sosa Geek and the pre-mentioned Fivio or 5-0. They're both New York drill rappers, to my understanding. I've not really looked too much into either of them. Pretty sure they were part of like Pop Smoke's, you know, crew. But yeah, Drake's flow hard, and then 5-0 comes in, he just starts going off, man, dude. He's fucking just, oh, this ill fucking flow. It's like that grittiness in his vocals and the ad-libs are just so fucking hard, dude. And Sosa, the same way, comes in. He compliments 5-0 so well. And both of them kind of play nice juxtaposition to Drake's vocals. The whole thing is just
grimy and gritty.
And it's just so fucking G. And that shit is just hard, man, from start to finish. And then you got the little beat switch on the outro. Oh, man, so good. So good. Favorite track on the album. So fucking hard. Definitely is not one of Drake's most prominent presences because he has the two helping him out a lot. But it's still, hey, it's still a Drake track. Drake's still on it, and it's really fucking good. And then that's the end of the album. I guess I should probably talk about War. Oh, War. As I said earlier, had a lot of problems with this track when I first heard it. I don't even really want to talk about it, but of course I will. But yeah, man, it's just such, I get that he's trying to get inspiration from these UK rappers, man, but there's a difference between taking inspiration and just making a watered-down, cheap knockoff. I know he's like giving attention to these people that normally wouldn't get it, but is he though, or are the people just listening to the Drake song? You know, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it, but it is what it is. Wasn't my favorite track by any means. So yeah, that completely wraps up the project. Like I said, it had a lot of highs, had a lot of lows. I do think it's better than Views and Care Package and More Life and Scorpion by a lot. Maybe not a lot, but by a good bit. I do think maybe some of those albums had a couple of higher highs than this project did, but this project was more consistently good. So if I had to give this a rating, overall, I'm gonna go with a 5. Okay, I don't want everyone screaming at me. I'll go 6. I don't think it's a 6. 5.75. Okay, I'll give it a 6. A very, very soft 6. And that is what I'm going with. This project is a 6. So there you go. Let me know what you thought about this album, whether you liked it as much as I did, hated it as much as I did. If you had different opinions on the tracks, let me know. Let me know what you think I should review next. Let me know what kind of music you listen to. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And thanks for making this far in the video. Remember to live, laugh, lows, bitches.
Nope.